Welcome to Prana Talk TV. I'm Shana Dean and
Elitom, El-amin.
welcome Elitom and welcome everybody. Today we're going to talk about wisdom and spirituality and light and what it means to begin this beautiful journey and what your life needs to be like, or maybe it doesn't need to be a certain way. Who knows? We'll find out. What do you think?
Absolutely. Well, for number one, when you deal with the Breatharian message and slash spirituality, everybody have their preconceived notions on what they think it is. So there's this expectation also that comes along with it. That's just being human. So, and as you come into this journey, people are looking at their situation, their life situation, dealing with family. Are you married? Are you planning on getting married? And yes, it's going to be a ripple effect, what type of job you're working. All of that goes into effect because it's you, your core, your center that you're working with. So we want to talk about using more wisdom, or how you call it, spiritual light wisdom, or wisdom in the light. Be a wise person.
I love that, spiritual light wisdom. That feels really high alignment with that.
Yeah. Right, because a lot of people think that if I become a Breatharian, all my problems is going to be solved. But you got to understand, as you're making the journey, dealing with your problems or situations, that's what leads you there, because you broke up blockages. So the more you chasing it, the more it's moving away from you. The more you surrender and deal with yourself, that's why we say this is a health message. You start getting healthier because blockages are being removed.
And you mentioned kind of waiting until your problems, or how the problems are working out in your life. What you'll find is that when we try to work the problems out in our mind, we can think all day long, think. But as soon as you drop into the energy, and this is why meditation is so nice, you find that the solution to your problems drops in like that.
Because there's only one consciousness. You're right. The solution is in you. That's why we say meditation is the foundation. But it's about you finding those answers that's in you so you could dissolve those problems or situations. So it's sort of like when you got a family unit, because we all affect one another. If a child has a problem, the family has a problem. If a parent has a problem, the family has a problem. Here we go now. And we all coming from these different family units and these different connections of relationships. This is how we're bringing it up now. So here you are on a Breatharian journey, want to heal yourself at a higher level than ever before. I like how you pointed it out. It's a mental thing. The solution to your problems is there, but you have to be willing on trusting yourself and seeking it within you. And do you want to really let it go? See, that's the game. You might not want to.
Right, but being in that higher light wisdom that we're talking about, that's what happens when you're meditating or doing Qigong. Part of the energy cultivation, all the practices that are part of this beautiful lifestyle, like Reiki, what I do, and other things, it takes you out of your thinking mind and it drops you right into spirit, into your higher beingness, your higher consciousness.
Teaching you how to surrender and relax.
Yes, and then you're looking from a higher light wisdom path. And all the answers you could possibly ever want are right there.
Are right there. So that's why we're bringing up, coming out of this, is now how do you apply it? Because knowledge is one thing. We got all types of knowledge out there. But then wisdom is how you apply the proper knowledge to deal with your situation. And this is what I'm getting, because I get a lot of calls sometimes about people wanting to be, a Breatharian. And they got these situations around them and they know what the answer is to solve it. But again, if you don't heal yourself, there's nothing nobody can tell you what to do. You got to want to do it. And even though we say a blockage, we're not even talking on a negative level. A blockage might be necessary at that time for your growth. Whoa, did I say that?
It's true. Yeah.
So it's about accepting it, and it makes you into a better person. oh, this is good. So you could grow into your next level. Because like we said, this is why you don't force yourself into being a breatharian. See, when you try to suppress something and force it again, it's moving away from you. But when you start slowly learning how to surrender, and I'm glad how you describing that love energy of that light, wisdom, it'll start coming to you and let you know your fears start dissolving. It's okay. And then you move into it.
I was just going to bring up fear. Fear is huge. And unfortunately,
Oh,
a lot
man.
of fear right now out there. But the more you follow a higher wisdom light path, the less fear you have. It actually just can no longer exist within your consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Not really what you are or who you are. So
Right.
the more you're tuning into these higher lights and this divine wisdom, I'd like to call it, that just comes right through you, that you are, the fear dissolves, any challenges dissolves, blockages
Oh, man.
dissolves, all of that does. It's effortless.
And that's the breatharian knowledge right there. When that fear, those blockages get removed, that brings more light into the body. See, that's why we say you can't fast your way into it, because all you're going to do is just be a starving, fearful person. Did I say that?
Right. Yeah. You need to do the spiritual work, not just fasting. That's really true.
Absolutely. A starving, angry person, a starving person with all these issues. That's all it's going to do. It make you even more grouchy. That's why we say safety first. You're working at a mental level because it's all mental. So when we talk about that mind-body connection, you'll grow into it to where you figure out your physical body is your mind.
You know,
Oh, man.
I would love to bring up this one beautiful quote for those of you who know Amma, the hugging saint, who I absolutely love. She has this quote, and she says this: for those of you who truly understand spirituality, there is no fear whatsoever. You do
Mm-hmm.
not have any fear whatsoever. So even the high yogis of India, everybody, any spiritual, deep spiritual person on a really elevated path will know that that can't exist. So if
Exactly.
you're still dealing with challenges and fears, and fear could be anything from, am I paying my rent, or, you know, what does so-and-so think of me, or, you know, it could be any little
Mm-hmm.
thing. Am I going to get to so-and-so on time, right? Any little
Mm-hmm.
fear at all, any discomfort. If you're feeling that, it means you need to come back to center and tap into that higher light wisdom. And how do we do that, Elitom?
Oh, now here we go. Because what we're saying is you do create your reality because your reality is you. When you're showing fear, you don't trust yourself. You
Or
don't
the
trust the
divine,
universe.
or the universe, right? Exactly.
Right. It's all one. That's what you're growing into. So that's where the blockages is at, dealing with fear. So that's why when she brought up those different situations where Shana said, you know, fear and this, fear and that, why should you fear yourself? This is where it gets good. It's sort of like when I was on a plane, a bag of my clothes got misplaced, and I just detached from it. But see, the thing about it is, I know that I made it get misplaced in the first place. I wanted another challenge to get new clothes.
And
That's how you're
I know
thinking.
that. I know that about you, Ellie Tom. Actually, it's true with everybody, but yes, especially for you.
I'm like, oh, another adventure.
Yeah.
So your perception changes on how you're looking at the world. That's why I'm glad you brought up that mental thought. What's the perception change, the body will follow. That's how we know. Oh, man.
And then there's changing energy. So recently I was in a situation where somebody around me was behaving in a way where they seemed like they were unhappy. So they were making others around them unhappy. And this
Mm-hmm.
was coming into my environment. And I thought, I'm going to increase my meditations. And I did that. And as I raised my frequency with this beautiful, just a very simple, peaceful meditation, not doing anything in particular, just clearing my mind and dropping into that space. What I
Mm-hmm.
found is within one day, that person completely changed. The unhappiness
Absolutely.
left, and all the problems that were being stirred up from all of that dissipated.
Absolutely.
Never underestimate your personal power and the effect you have on others and everything around you with your own state of being. So if you do notice things are kind of, let's say, chaotic or out of balance or out of harmony in your life, drop
Right.
in and tap into that higher wisdom.
Now I'm glad you said that, because people need to hear this on what we're saying is actually there is no others. That was just your own frequency. That's why it all changed. But you have to grow into that. We're saying it over and over again. But that's why you're taking full responsibility for your energy. You could easily start just blaming that other person for the chaos, blaming that other person. It didn't even go there. You would have settled your energy and it settled all the energy around, because all energy is one.
Right. Right.
You can't get away from that. It's this one.
That's a really hard concept for some people to get because it's just conceptual. But when you start on this path, you realize it really is all one. The universe really is, like you say, Elitom, it's plastic. To me, it just feels really pliable. It just, you think something, you feel something, you create energy here, and everything around you is affected and kind of melds and shifts to all of that. So
Absolutely.
it really does come from you, and it comes from all of us, because like you said, we really are all one. So the more we all harmonize with that higher light wisdom, the more we really reach those higher levels of consciousness collectively, where we really do step into that oneness.
Really being wise. Here we go. Applying this knowledge so it can work for you. Other than that, there's a resistance. It is sort of like you could be going down the river this way, but you're swimming upstream due to preconceived notions, preconceived this. That's why you even get to the level there is no mistakes. Oh man, no blaming nobody. You did it because you wanted to do it. You did this and it's okay. You didn't mess nothing up. That's why we call it the love energy. It's giving everybody 110%. And it's not questioning you on, okay, you've been a bad girl, bad boy, you did this, you should have kept doing this. It's not even questioning. Here, whenever you get ready to open up the door, you're letting the love come in. That's what we're talking about. That is the Breatharian knowledge. That's the energy that sustains you.
Absolutely. And it's a non-judgmental energy, by the way. So the whole concept of what you mentioned, good boy, bad girl, or whatever,
non-judgmental.
That's all judgment. Like none of that even exists. So it really goes back to the age-old saying when it says, hey, just be the observer. Just observe your life. Pay attention. And when you think things are out of harmony, go within, and you don't have to beat yourself up over it or say, gosh, how do I correct this, and try to think about it. No, you just drop into that space. It will automatically go back into harmony. Everything gets corrected, and now you're functioning at a higher wisdom level.
Higher wisdom level. And I was even, got this group to teach here shortly, and it's dealing with, okay, most people do bring up family issues. All right. But I say, okay, but as you grow, you're going to find out it's not the family. When you change, everybody else change. Right now, I'm here visiting my family. I'm having the best time ever because I understand this. No judgments, no this, no that. Certain conversations we don't even have to have. It's okay. That's your mind.
Well, you know that old saying, if you think you're enlightened, go spend a week with your family.
Right.
That's the true test.
That's the test.
So the question is, are you being triggered or not? And there's another wonderful saying, I wish I knew who is responsible for this beautiful quote, but the quote is this: if there's someone in your life who's always pushing your buttons, remove the buttons.
Remove the buttons. Here we go. And these philosophies we teaching or saying, these sayings actually work when you apply them with wisdom. This is why we're bringing it up. Apply it. Watch it change. Oh man, that's what they're given for, principles. The principles have a lot of power depending on who's using it and wielding it. You got to want to. But when you just give up and go back to your old way, I'm going to handle it this way, and it brings forth more division, that pulls energy from you. And we're going into an energy of wholeness, the unity consciousness. That's the Breatharian knowledge. Because on that knowledge, it ain't talking about minerals, vitamins. It don't even know what that means. The divisional mind thinks that way.
Well, thank you for bringing up division, because right now there's a lot of division out there. A lot, right? So we need to kind of come back as to one whole being and one whole collective, unified mind, unified spirit, letting go of fear. And this branches off to a lot of things that are happening in the world right now, not just in your home and within yourself, but it happens on every possible level.
Every level. It is right here. I was just with a group just now. We were taking the scenic route driving. And on the drive, they just talked about how bad the world is, and this and this and this. But the drive was beautiful, and they don't even see that. It was all in their head. They brought the energy with them in their mind. Now I'm going to places, people saying hi. I'm meeting people I don't know. You understand? And it's nice smiles. The world is beautiful. It's a thought process. It's just that real. Oh man, this is good, ain't it?
I love it. It's perfect for the holidays.
Yeah, it is.
Well, we're actually in the holy days, and so this is a time where people are visiting family, and there might be a lot of emotional stuff that comes up around this, and busyness too with the events and things like that. And it's just a reminder to come back to the self and stay centered, and do what
Keep
you
bringing
do
it back
out there, but bring it back. Bring it back to that higher wisdom, not to flow into all the stuff that's going on around you. There's a lot going on right now. I always find it really interesting how this is considered one of the holiest times of the year this month. There's so many different religions celebrating light. And what are people doing? They're running around traffic and shopping and food, and it's all for good purposes, right? Because it's all for generosity and giving to others. But we need to take some time to really come into ourselves too. This is the beautiful dark time of the year. We're celebrating the light. So embrace yourself as a light being, as a higher.
Absolutely.
And then when you come out of the holy days, into January, you're stepping more into lightness. And Elitom and I are having a retreat in January 19th, which is Elitom's birthday, right here in Sedona.
High energy place, high frequency. Oh my gosh.
It's going to be amazing. So we're calling it the Light Retreat of 2022, January. If anyone's interested, drop us a message. But really, our teachings are about stepping into the light and that higher wisdom and just being the very best possible version of yourself as we all move into a state of oneness.
Absolutely. And the body loves working with energy. Don't never forget that. It loves it. You just have to put it into the right feng shui position around the right group, what you're listening to, all of this, and watch it grow. This is all you have to do. Oh man, this is good.
We love
it. I hope everybody got a lot out of this.
We love you all. Thank you so much for spending this time with us, and we'll talk to you very soon. Have a beautiful, beautiful light journey.